Welcome back, everybody. I wanted to give you an update on what's going on with Christian McCaffrey. So I come across this on Instagram the other day. This is about 2 days ago, and I see this. Christian McCaffrey is expected to miss another couple months with his Achilles injury. Guys, I really can't tell you how simple this is. If you go on YouTube, if you go on Google, and you type in Christian McCaffrey training and you watch how this dude trains, it seems like pretty much a majority of his training is all bounding and plyometric movements. Okay. Now, why does this matter? Because what everybody thinks is Achilles tendonitis or this quote unquote Achilles injury is not the Achilles at all. And this is the thing, this is how the human body works. The human body doesn't tell you what's hurting. The human body is going to point to something so detrimental, hurting wise, that it's going to force you to stop doing what you're doing. For instance, you might have a gigantic knot in your quadricep, but where do you get that pain? You get it in your knee. Because if you just had the pain in your quad, most people would just continue to train, and you're training at the detriment of the joint. Okay, so the body's protecting the joint. Anybody who runs and anybody who's had any type of Achilles pain knows immediately, I do not want to tear that sucker. I've worked on two people that have torn their Achilles tendon, and each one of them have told me that it is just a horrific injury. Nobody wants to be running 1 second and then have their calf rolled up like a shade behind their knee the next second. So when you start to feel that pain in the Achilles tendon, it gets your attention. If you just had pain in your calf, most people are just going to continue training or running through it. Okay? So my issue, and you can see right here, okay, is that we are looking at this problem. Okay, now, why are we looking at this problem? Well, this is our tibialis posterior. Look at where this sucker is, all right in between the two bones of your lower leg, and look at where it attaches to. Okay, here it starts to turn into tendon right in the middle of that muscle belly, okay? And that tendon goes all the way down. And then look at this pronged 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's 5 right there. There's a 5-pronged attachment from this tendon onto the bone. And where is it attaching to? It is attaching to the bones of the foot, okay, and then also the arc. All right, now let me back out here for a second. Look at all of the pain this is creating. Look at the central or the focal point of that pain right in the Achilles tendon. Okay, and when I was doing a lot of marathons and triathlons, this is back in, 2004, 2005, something like that, I started to get the same exact pain in my Achilles tendon, and I was like, what the hell is going on? It didn't matter how much I was rubbing that tendon, I woke up the next day with the same amount of pain. So as I started to do my digging, and I came across a book by Claire Davies describing this exact problem, showing exactly where the trigger point is and how that pain gets pushed into the Achilles and then into the foot. Okay, I started to dig in there, and holy ghost, man, that is some serious pain. Okay, some of the people that have had that Achilles tendon rip and then it gets repaired, they come in, and when I get into this exact area, they are screaming lights out, man. They're like, dude, put me to sleep before you do that next time. Give me some anesthesia. It's bad, okay? And the reason why it's so bad is because of how long this muscle is and how long the tendon is and the problem that it's creating, okay? Some of the most unlikely, or what I would like to say maybe smallest or insignificant areas in the body, you would think like, oh, that's not going to be a problem. You get a trigger point in that area, and like I said, holy ghost, man, it is horrendous. It is extremely painful. And you're like, how can that little area cause so much pain? Well, we're talking about bundles of nerve fibers, layer of fascia, everything like that. And the problem with this is, as a therapist, or even if you're doing it on yourself, you have to fight through the gastroc first, okay? And then you also have to fight through the soleus second. And then you're getting down to this layer of muscle tissue, which is your tibialis posterior. So there's a lot of thickness. Sometimes the gastroc is on the fritz too, and there's trigger points in there. Sometimes the soleus is just tight as a tick, and that's going to create pain as well. So you just have layers and layers and layers of pain on top of what the actual problem is that you have to fight through. But in order to get to it, and when you get to it, and when you get through all of that stuff, you're going to know that you're on track just by the light up factor. Okay, you should start to feel a lot of pain in that Achilles, maybe even pain in the bottom of the foot. Okay, and that's how you know that you nailed it. In most cases, all right, this problem starts all the way up in the hip. And once again, I'm going to reference my foot and ankle pain Bible available on Amazon. You need to start at the hip. Okay, you need to open up the hip, you need to open up the glute, and then you need to find a couple of controlling factors in the hamstring. You need to find out where those adhesions are, where those trigger points are, because if this was a little bit more complete, you are going to see the calf tendons come up underneath the hamstring tendons, and the hamstring tendons are going to come across the calf tendons and attach on the front part of the tibia, okay? So when that hamstring gets tight, you choke off the tendons of the calf, and then the brain is made to think that the calf is tight as well. And the more that we keep on running or doing our calf raises or jumping or doing our plyometrics, things just shore up more and more. They escalate higher and higher, coming to the hip. And it kind of feels like your body feels like you're putting on a sock, and you just keep on pulling. You keep on pulling north up to that hip as hard as you can. And what happens if you keep on pulling and pulling, pulling? Everybody knows that sock is going to rip. So there becomes a point where then that Achilles just lets go and says, okay, you don't want to listen. You don't want to loosen me up. I can't, I have nothing left to give anymore. It's too dangerous, and unfortunately I have to let go. And that Achilles lets go, okay? So this is what Christian McCaffrey is dealing with. There's rumors that he went to Germany in order to get stem cell therapy. Guys, I don't care if you get PRP, stem cell. I don't care if you shoot holy water in there, okay? Nothing injectable is going to permanently be able to take this pain away. It may numb it, it may dull it, the pain might disappear for a couple of weeks, but then as cortisol or whatever was injected in there starts to wear off, the pain just comes back, and more than likely whatever you've been doing semi-pain-free or pain-free for the last couple of weeks, it just comes back to its detriment, and it's even more painful. And then you're really sidelined. I mean, I don't know how old McCaffrey is. Gosh, man, 28, 30, something like that. This could be a potentially career-ending injury, okay? It really could. I hope it's not, but it could be a potential career-ending injury for him, and that's just ridiculous. There's liability on so many levels. These athletic trainers, these doctors, if somebody flew 10,000 miles to come and see me, and what I gave them or told them to do didn't work, I'd be embarrassed. I'd be really embarrassed. People would be like, hey, how did that thing go with Christian McCaffrey? Oh, no, he didn't come to see me. I would tell people it's just embarrassing how little the people who are supposed to be in a position to help people like Christian, or even forget that, people like me and you who just love to go out and run on a weekend or play with our kids, go to the beach, whatever, okay? You're supposed to know something like this, but this does not have a high return if you fix it. If I keep on injecting you, or if I keep on giving you a pill, or you keep on coming to see me 3 times a week into perpetuity, then that becomes profitable, right? So people in the westernized medical system, they don't want to know about it. And even in my book, I think the Knee Pain Bible, I quote from a website showing how doctors still like to make fun of the idea of trigger points or adhesions and don't really believe 100% in their existence, just like a lot of them don't believe in adrenal fatigue, et cetera, et cetera. Why? Because you don't have a single specified drug that treats adrenal fatigue. And you can see in my three-part so far series on cortisol and why it matters that it's a multifaceted approach. There's many factors that lead to adrenal fatigue, and there's no one pill that fixes it. Okay? So I hope that's making a little bit more sense. I'll put on another update if he comes back to play, or if there's more news, or if he gets injured for good. God forbid anything like that happens. I love this guy, man. Ed McCaffrey was a huge hero of mine during his Bronco years. I love that his son's out there playing and whatnot. And hey, anybody that sees this that knows him, send him over my way, man. I'll be able to fix this in a day or two. Not that big of a deal. So I'm not wishing that this kid gets injured at all. I wish nothing but the best for him. And I really hope that it gets resolved sooner than later because I love watching him play. Now, OBJ. OBJ is a little bit of a different story, okay? Odell Beckham, when he tore his ACL in the Super Bowl for the second time, I put out a video showing exactly how it happened. It's on my Instagram. I think it might be even on my YouTube as well. I don't know. I don't really keep track of this stuff as well as I should. But I showed exactly how the glute was weak, the adductor was tight, his knee caved in when he landed. This is a non-contact, very simple route. He's probably run hundreds of this same route. He didn't get hit in a weird manner. It was non-contact. He caught the ball, foot landed, and then he went down, okay? So I told everybody, and I said, this dude is probably going to come back and do the same exact thing that he did for his first rehabilitation, and it's going to cause even more problems, and I guarantee you that he may never play again, or he's just not going to be the same receiver that he was. So what ends up happening? He comes back. He's with the Baltimore Ravens last year, and he played a little bit. I don't know, like usually it was later on in the game. What did he get? Maybe 5 snaps a game, something like that. Once again, don't quote me on it. Maybe it was more, maybe it was even less. But the fact of the matter is that he's not playing every single snap like he was with the Giants or like he was when he was with the Rams. So I'm, again, sorry to see this. OBJ, if you're out there, you don't need rehab. You don't need stem. You don't need PRP. You don't need stem cell injections. You don't need any of that, okay? What you need, better alignment. You need to find somebody, and by the way, OBJ, I'm 45 minutes north of you, all right? If you need help, reply to this, get I don't know, dude, find me, okay? Rebuilding you at proton.me if you want to keep it simple. But what you need is you need alignment, okay? And you need soft tissue work balancing out the tensegrity, the tension and the integrity in your body, okay? It started, who knows, maybe 10, 15 years ago. That's what led to the first ACL tear. And now we are looking at the second one, non-contact. And God knows why you can't even run right now. I mean, it says right there, he's only done spot catching. I can guarantee you he has something wrong, lower body, that's either tight or constantly spasming, all right? And he doesn't know why he can't be mobile. If it's not that, then the imbalance in his lower body is throwing off his midsection. So it's his lower body, it's his back, something like that. Look, guys, all of this is just speculation. I don't know 100% for sure. All I know is that, I called this in the first video, and now with Christian McCaffrey, I'm telling you guys, it's such a laughable issue. It can be fixed so quickly if you look at the body from a mechanistic standpoint that I do. All right, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to continuously bring more and more information with other people that are having situations like this that should not be. And I'm going to keep on pointing out the truth of what's mechanistically important in the body, how it really works, and hope it makes sense to everybody. And if you're dealing with the same issue, I hope that it helps you get back to what you do, to what you love to do the most. All right. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like it for me, and sending everybody nothing but love, light, and aloha.